The morning started like any other on my farm. Roosters crowing, cows lowing in the pasture, the smell of fresh hay and soil in the air. I was mending a section of fence when I spotted a familiar SUV creeping down the road. Oh no, Karen. HOA Karen. Clipboard in hand, phone already recording, expression locked into that smug, pinched scowl that meant she was about to start trouble. She pulled right up to my gate, slammed her car door, and marched toward me like she owned the whole county. "This," she announced, pointing at my land like it was a crime scene, "is illegal." I raised an eyebrow. "What's illegal, Karen? The grass growing? The chickens clucking? Or maybe the cows chewing cud? Better call the livestock police." She gasped like I'd slapped her. "Don't mock me. Farms are not permitted in this neighborhood. The HOA doesn't allow livestock, tractors, or smells." She waved her hand in front of her nose dramatically. I wiped sweat off my brow. "Karen, this isn't your neighborhood. This is my land. This farm's been here for 80 years. Long before the HOA was even a twinkle in your power-hungry eye." But Karen wasn't listening. She yanked out her phone and dialed. "Yes, police? I'd like to report an illegal farm operating in a residential neighborhood." She glanced at me triumphantly. "Let's see how tough you act when you're in handcuffs." 20 minutes later, 2 deputies rolled up. They stepped out, looked around at the cows, the barn, the tractors, and then at Karen, who was practically vibrating with self-righteous fury. "Officers," she shouted, "arrest him immediately. This farm is a violation of HOA code. These animals are a nuisance." One deputy scratched his chin. "Ma'am, this is zoned farmland. Has been since before you moved in." Karen blinked. That can't be right." The other deputy pulled up records on his tablet. "Yep, farm's fully registered, taxes paid. He's well within his rights to run it." Karen's face turned scarlet. But the smell, the noise, the chickens wake me up." The first deputy shrugged. "Then maybe don't buy a house next to a farm, ma'am." The crowd of neighbors that had gathered snickered. Someone called out, "Looks like the cows have more rights than you, Karen." But Karen wasn't done embarrassing herself. She stormed toward the pasture, yanking at the gate latch. "If the police won't do their job, then I'll remove these filthy animals myself." That's when Daisy, my prize dairy cow, stepped forward and licked Karen square across the face. Karen shrieked, stumbling backward into a puddle of mud. She flailed, dropped her clipboard, and ended up sitting in the muck with her heels sunk 6 inches deep. Phones recorded from every angle. The deputies didn't even hide their laughter. "Ma'am, I suggest you go home before you get charged with trespassing or cow harassment." Karen sputtered, slipped again, and finally stormed off, covered in mud and cow slobber. The videos went viral under the title, HOA Karen versus Daisy the cow. Within days, Daisy had her own fan club online, with people sending me art of her wearing sunglasses and a crown. At the next HOA meeting, Karen tried to spin the story. "That farmer assaulted me with a cow," she shrieked. The room erupted in laughter. The board, already tired of her antics, stripped her of all authority to inspect properties. Now, whenever Karen drives by, Daisy saunters to the fence, stares her dead in the eye, and lets out the loudest "oh" you've ever heard. And me? I just tip my hat and get back to work, knowing the farm will outlast every one of Karen's ridiculous complaints. Because here's the truth. You can't HOA a farm. And you sure as hell can't outstubborn a farmer or his cows.